Okay, so I got something special for you guys today. I had some students question me because some Puzzle Rush scores are getting just out of hand. We got two guys who are hitting above 70 and 90 while the top players in the world were doing like 55, 50. And I mean, 55 and 50 is a ridiculous score, don't get me wrong. But they had questions on how is it possible unless a guy's cheating doing 90. And if you go to the player's profile, he's got a YouTube video with like 70,000 hits showing that he's actually doing it. And then they explain how. Well, they've been using the woodpecker method for training. And the woodpecker method is taking a closed series of problems and studying them over and over and over and over and over. So I'm going to show you guys today how exactly to go about doing the woodpecker method using the learning tool in chess.com's, puzzles. Now it's not just the long problems or Puzzle Rush. So you'll have categories to choose from. And because most of my systems that I play have fianchetto, I'm going to choose fianchetto-based tactics. And I'm setting the puzzle range between 1900 and 2800, okay? So I know that there's not a lot of tactics and tactical themes that are going to be based with fianchettos. So it's important for me to have mastery of all of them if I've got a fianchetto almost every time I'm playing an opening. So does it make sense how I've isolated that I want to study that type of tactical problem first, because it's going to stem from my openings and it's going to make more sense for me to do so. So I picked a pattern, and there's, say, I don't know, I haven't counted 60, 70 different tactical themes, and then there's overlap between the problems. Sometimes it's like a series of checks and then you mate the guy or win a piece, so you're hitting two themes at the same time, etc. So I'm starting with fianchetto, and I've trained with this. I've done about 2 hours work with it, and I want to show you, even on the problems that are like 2400 level, I'll get them immediately now, because I've been using the woodpecker method with this, okay? And then we're going to go back through and go slowly. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So start. So as soon as I see this problem, I go knight takes c3, I got to defend the queen, and I win a piece. And that's a 25-40 problem. I'm not playing around. I've done this a few times, okay? All right, next one. Okay, queen check, I'm going to win the bishop after takes, boom. It's got to jump out at you. Hassle the queen, win the queen. 21-44. Okay, here, knight takes f2, and his queen gets trapped. 21-94. Okay, here, bishop problems. 27-19, that problem. I got it wrong the first time I played knight d5. All right, so here I go, okay, the knight on c6 can't be defended. 22-27. Here, pins make wins, pin it, win it. Here, oh, and we're starting to see why I like the woodpecker method. It will repeat problems. I think there's around 25 problems in the set that I chose, but it's going to randomly choose, and you'll get the same one sometimes. But it's taking like note cards and shuffling them up for you. You see the learning theory? Okay, so here, this is a fun one. That's a good one. 22-82. It's got to jump out at you. Oh, this comes from a classical Fischer game. Boom, 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 boom. And if he, when you play knight e6, if he took, you can take his queen. Oh yeah, that's always a nice one. Getting your hole. Okay, yep, work that. 23-91. And we're already starting to see more and more of the pattern repeating at this point. Work them. Pins, make wins, and just you guys watching me do it, that's passive learning. You need to do this type of activity yourself. And I mean, it's to the point to where I know these problems well enough that I can have a full conversation doing the lesson. I'm not thinking, I know. There's a difference. It's like reading. When you've mastered the skill of reading, you're not thinking about the next word. Your brain's just letting it flow. So imagine if you assimilate enough patterns, how it jumps out at you. So you see me when I'm doing the first, say, 20, 25 problems in Puzzle Rush, and a lot of you guys have gotten to the point where you've done it enough where it's like, you're answering them that quick. As fast as you can move is as fast as you're answering. That's because you've assimilated those simple tactics. If you want to get really good, though, take it to the next level. Like you've seen, some of these are 23 to 2,500 tactics. But you see the answer. You say you get a problem wrong. So say, I'm going to purposely get the next problem wrong. So right here, we've already seen this one, but this is going to be based off the theme of double attack. The first thing that most chess players are going to notice is the fact that the queen has this pseudo X-ray on the rook. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, how can I exploit it? And I think a lot of people would play knight f6 check, and after bishop takes, they take the rook. But the problem is, that's winning the exchange, that's okay, that's probably going to win the game, but you have much stronger here in knight g5, which creates the threat of queen f7 mate and queen takes a8. So say I played the incorrect move. What I'm going to do is I'm going to retry the puzzle, and I'm going to try to understand why I got it wrong. I'm using an active learning approach. I can't insist on this enough. If you just show yourself the answer, it's not going to stick as well as if you're trying to figure it out. Because just like in a real game, you got to figure it out. And if you just show yourself the answer, it's going to go away relatively quickly. So I got this problem wrong the first time, and I remembered my first reaction of why I got it wrong. Because I analyzed, I was actively thinking in the position. And then the second time I came back, I'm like, oh yeah, double attack. Very simple theme, and it's a 2300 rated problem. Does it seem like a 2300 rated problem? No. Once you break down the themes, any tactical problem is just a few simple parts that we're putting together. If you understand the base of the parts, you can solve anything. But you must have those simple themes. Another one. Again, check, pin it, win it. It jumps out at you when you see the tactics after a while. This is my favorite one. You ready? We go here, 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 and I win the queen. 24-58. I don't have to think about it anymore because I know. So most people are sitting there going, well, why are you just memorizing this pattern? Why? Or do you have another question? Go ahead.
Can you make it so it gradually expands, gives you more tactics of the same type?
Excellent question. Of the same type? No. But initially when we're on the screen and it gives you the readout of how many boxes you want to check, you can check all, and I think they've got like, let's say 50,000 problems or 100,000 problems in total that you can choose from. But if you just stay in certain categories, like the hardest ones that I was messing around with were the stalemate problems. They're all like 26 to 2800 level problems at the top, and they're ridiculously hard because it'll be like you with a knight and bishop and a rook, or yeah, it's like knight, bishop, and pawn, and the other guy's got a queen, and you have to figure out a way exactly to make it work in that situation, otherwise you lose. Like every move is forcing, or you have like one move in the combination to where everything's hanging, but he can't do anything, and then the next move's forcing and you win. It's stupid difficult to calculate. But the more you practice those, the more that, say you're in a situation where you're about to sacrifice your queen in a game, you go, but I have enough coordination to make this work later. And sometimes the greatest players, it's not that they see exactly what they need to win the game, it's that they have a feeling. And there's a great video on YouTube, and Kasparov is analyzing one of his wins versus Karpov, and from one of their world championship games. And Kasparov literally is like, I didn't even have to calculate here. I didn't have to think. I've got 5 attackers. He's got 2 defenders. I win. And then he just like spouts off quickly, as fast as I'm doing these puzzles, showing all the variations, and he just crushes. And that's why the game was over. So understand that the strongest players, it's not just, I'm not going to go for it unless I see it. I used to have that mentality, and it held me back. Sometimes you got to take risk. You got to roll the dice, because if you take somebody, you know, the Tao quote. Tao's one of the greatest tactical players of all time, and he's like, you got to take your opponent deep into the forest where 2 + 2 = 5. and understand the quote. It's not that he's derpy and doesn't understand, basic math. Your opponent's got to suffer through the complications as well. So when you do something crazy, they've got to figure it out as well with you. That's what the quote means. Everybody got it? All right, so hopefully this lesson has been useful to the viewers as well on how to use chess.com's great new resource in order to study to get to the next level. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Now we got some ice cream to investigate in class.